goal without a plan is a wish. Hello you guys, welcome back to my channel. Let's dive right in. Halfway of 2025 is already gone somehow. If you're clicked on this video, perhaps you're not even sure what has happened in the past 6 months. What have you accomplished or managed to get done? Are you on track with your goals or not? Or perhaps you just want to make sure that you stay on track with your goals. Today we're gonna be resetting. A little mental reset, a little physical reset as well. We're gonna check in and log back in with our goals to make sure that we make the most out of the next 6 months. I don't know where this year has gone. Sorry for my appearance in today's intro. I'm actually filming this after the workout class that you probably already saw. We're gonna be checking in with our goals, realigning, reprioritizing our goals, and just getting back on track. But in a realistic way, you know, realistic. Today is Saturday. We already got a good workout in. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. The clips I inserted are from a past mat Pilates class because today, honestly you guys, it was such a great start to the day because I was meant to go to another mat Pilates class. They asked me if I wanted to join the reformer class and I did reformer Pilates for the first time and I actually loved it, but I didn't get a chance to film for you guys, so I thought I would insert the clips of what would have been today or something down the line of that, because your girl was struggling for her life trying to not fall on her face in that machine, so filming alongside that would have been interesting. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed that. We got some flowers, we already bought some food, so we already have, you know, we have a head start on the day and on the reset. Now we're gonna continue to do a little like physical reset. So what I want to tackle right now is this couch. This I presented to you. My arms hurt so much. I don't want to think how much they're gonna hurt tomorrow. Thankfully, my past self really did myself a favor this week. I don't need to clean our sheets just yet, like our bed sheets or anything like that. We did a sheets and towels wash and cleanse a few days ago. So I thought, I've been procrastinating doing this. Guys, I'm actually ashamed to tell you how dirty this couch really is. We have never washed it. Okay, don't judge. We have never washed it and we have lived in this flat for over 2 years and we eat in this couch constantly. So that's all you need to know. So I thought today would be a great time to pull out the covers, stick them in the wash at like 60 degrees to kill any new species that might have been born into this couch. Alright, let's get going with that. back. Can you tell I'm sweating again? This is the reason why I didn't do any of this after my shower. Anyways, guys, I found so many random like hair accessories underneath the couch. I don't know if you saw me wiping down some of the cushions. I found out that I could only really wash the ones that go in your back. So the ones that you sit on, I just had to sort of like wipe down. I did vacuum it and found all this stuff underneath the couch. Cushions are in the wash. Now that this space is cleaner, laundry wise, sheets wise, towels wise, we're good. I basically today wanted to do reset and clean things I've been putting off for over a year or at least a few months. Next up, we're gonna prop up the flowers actually. Look how cute they are, you guys. This might be my favorite blue color. This bluish periwinkle lilac lavender one. Love it. I'm out of breath. I also need to change my shower filter. I got it from Amazon like a year ago and you're meant to change it every either 6 months or after a year. So it's long overdue. Put this in water and change the filter. I showered, I changed. Look how cute. Look at the flowers. They look so pretty. I feel so colorful even though the day is gray. That shower, I don't know if it was a psychological effect of like changing the shower filter. The water just felt extra crisp. I felt clean. It was cold, which I needed. Next 2 steps. First up, review, check in with ourselves, do a little mental reset, mental check-in. And then we're gonna dive into our goals and checking in, reprioritizing and realigning. That's gonna be the last part of the video. Now for a mental declutter and a mental reset, you have a few options. You can go the meditation route. Another one could be speaking it out, like ranting. If you would rather keep the rant to yourself, what I sometimes do is record in the voice memo app on your phone and just speak, like free flow of consciousness, of overthinking, a verbal brain dump basically. The other option is an actual written brain dump, and that's the route that I'm choosing today. Before I forget, I also prefer this method because I do all these dumps and check-ins in my journal, which usually this journal lasts me more than a year. So that ensures that next time I check in, I can come back here and see how I was doing, what I was working towards, what I wanted to achieve. You know, it's a good like archive of every other check-in that you have done or just where your mind has been at in the past. So I'm pretty sure I did one in my last, like in Q2 check-in at near the end of March, between March and April. No, we don't want to make it super hard, and I don't want you guys to be sitting here for like 3 hours. I just have these like 3 or 4 very easy to answer, I will say, questions. First one is, what am I proud of so far this year? Let's start with something good. The next one is, what's one thing I want to leave behind in Q2? Or that could be like just behind last year, or something you've been doing your entire life that you really just want to leave behind. The next two are connected, sort of. It's, what goals did I reach, and which one or which ones were harder to achieve and why. These two get really real with yourself and see where you might be making up excuses. Or it can be perhaps your priorities changed, perhaps circumstances changed that didn't allow you to, be real with yourself, give yourself some tough love so you know what the next steps can be, what's realistic as well for you to achieve. That's a little check-in point with yourself, your headspace, where you're at. You know what's so funny? I forgot that actually I got this journal, the check-in that I did last time. So for the spring equinox, it all lined up perfectly, and I got this new journal then. So the first entry here was actually around the time that I did my last check-in and my last reset. It was such an uplifting and positive and just grateful and excited entry that it kind of made me excited now. This is why I keep telling you guys you should journal. I did a full video as well on why you should journal and giving you some tips and advice on how you can spice up your journaling practice if you're already doing it. So I'll link it down below in case you want to check it out or just get into journaling. To be honest, in the entry here, I didn't put many goals. Now that I'm remembering, last time I did this, I actually set up my vision board, set up my goals for the entire year. I did set out a couple goals. I want to say I had a few 2025 goals that I had set out for myself to complete in Q2, but the reality is that most of the yearly goals you sort of set out to achieve in the entirety of the year. So some of them are due by the end of this quarter, most of them are due by the end of Q4. So that check-in is gonna be so interesting. I do want to update you guys. Goals that I have sort of already crossed off, that I've kind of achieved, others that I didn't do so good either. Let's just finish up reviewing where we're at, what we have done, and then let's see what we'll do. For this, it might be also helpful if you wrote down a list, or in your phone, in your notes app, wherever you have your goals for 2025, to go back and see them and see how far along you are on them. So I don't know how you organize your goals. The way that I like to do them to make sure that I stay on track as much as possible. When I set out my goals for 2025, wrote them down, and next to it I wrote by when these would get achieved. So it could be Q2, as I mentioned. I had a couple that were for Q2 that I will let you know which ones I managed to actually do. And then every month, we'll jump into this as well in the next section, perhaps a little more in depth. Each month I go back to my yearly or quarter goals, and on the first day of every month I make sure that the goals that I set out for that month are not only realistic, but they are aligned to the goals that I want to achieve for the end of 2025. That's the only way you're gonna actually achieve the goals you set out for yourself, if you constantly keep referring back to them and reminding yourself, okay, I'm working towards this, let's make progress on this, let's prioritize this. For Q2, just to let you guys in on how I'm doing and be 100% real. So I thought I only had this like goal for Q2, but I actually found here in my planner that I wrote one down here that I didn't remember that I wrote it down, and I actually managed to accomplish this. So let's get into that in a second. But first of all, an actual goal that I had written down: by the end of Q2, I wanted to have soft abs and like definition, generally speaking. I'm very much in like my healthy era. I've had the past few years a bunch of like health related situations that gave me a wake-up call, let's say near the end of last year. So I've taken my health really seriously these past few months. I had a goal weight that I wanted to reach, also like a workout schedule that I wanted to adhere to, and then I had this, which was like, I really wanted to see like some soft abs. You know, I just wanted the two lions. I'm gonna say I achieved this like 70%, because within this whole like, oh, I wanna get soft abs and definition, I actually did break it down, and we're gonna get to this again in the next section in a second. But I did break it down, and I said I wanna reach this target weight, I want to increase my workout schedule by this, and this is a bit more general, but I want to strengthen my core and that way have this definition. This is gonna be so superficial, but I have never had this, so this would have been like a really big milestone for me. Anyways, I had this really clear visual of, I just wanted the 2 lines, you know the lines I'm talking about. I did reach a target weight and I did stick to the workout plan that I had set for myself. Really, I can feel the abs brewing, but it's not quite there. So I will need a bit more time. But it's fine because I know that I'm like heading in that direction. But yeah, we're gonna change that to Q3 actually and see if I achieve it by the end of the next quarter. And then the other one that I showed you guys here, I actually completely forgot that I wrote this down, but because my birthday is in July, by the time that you see this it would have already passed. I wanted to get some sort of brand collaboration or PR, anything. I didn't write down any specifics because when I wrote this down I was really just getting started. I mean, I'm still a very small creator, but I was way small. I didn't write down any specifics. I just wanted some sort of brand interaction, to be honest. I don't know how. I'm so grateful for the 2 brands that I've managed to work with, but I managed to work with 2 brands. Yeah, so I'm happy that happened. That was achieved. Now that we're diving into a little more of actual goal setting for the next quarter, the next few months, and the rest of the year, if you will. And we have reviewed what we did, what it's still a work in progress, and this is where this next step comes in really handy. Priorities. Perhaps since you set your 2025 goals, your priorities have changed. Here you can have another journal prompt, which is what would aligned look and feel like in Q3? What would pursuing your goals in alignment to what you actually find important right now and what will make you the happiest at the end of the year when you look back on the year? What is that? How does that look like? How does that feel like? And that will give you a really good sense of if your current goals in the same line as that or not. And then it will help you prioritize the ones that you want to work towards in this next few months. What am I happy to prioritize and compromise? I have mentioned this in a lot of my videos, but what might come in handy is the Wheel of Life. I will put it here on the screen. This divides all of your life's categories and allows you to like pinpoint the level of how good or not so good that area of your life is doing. Perhaps the area of your life that is doing really well is the one that you want to keep prioritizing this next month or few months because you know you're working towards something. That means that the other areas that might not be doing so well, perhaps you can sprinkle in here and there something that will make them go up a bit higher and that way keep you a bit more balanced. But that's why doing that sort of checking that we did and also thinking of what will really feel aligned to what you want out of your life in the next few months is gonna come in super handy, because that way with the Wheel of Life and having a real check at where your life is at right now and what you actually want to focus on improving or working towards in the next few months, you have a really clear visual of all of this. For the sake of my check-in videos, I'm gonna say we will set goals for the next quarter. So that is July, August, September. 3 months. And I also think it's way less overwhelming to do it like this because you're not looking at 6 months ahead, the end of 2025, that can feel so like, so let's just focus on the next 3 months. You know what your priorities are, you know the areas of your life, you know what alignment will feel like when you next check in. You will know that you were aligned when you set these goals in. Make a plan. What is your focus gonna be the next 3 months? Now, this is what a SMART goal looks like. If you didn't set your 2025 goals under this like criteria, I would highly suggest you trying to make them fit this criteria. What this does is help make sure that your goal is really specific, almost has like a full fleshed out plan for you to actually achieve it. And it's not something super abstract. Help you actually make sure that your goals are as easy for you to follow and stick to as possible. I would suggest you set a maximum of 2 goals per month, so 6 goals in total for the next 3 months. Again, this can vary because it depends on how big your goals are, but I just think if you're trying to implement something new, like a new habit, it's more realistic to stick to a bit less, but make sure you're really dedicating your time, your energy towards making this happen. You'll be so much happier if you actually achieve 2 goals than if you try to achieve 10 and forgot about all of them. That's for the quarter. What I meant when I say make a plan is, and this is a system that I really like to use and I mentioned in my other video as well. As I mentioned before, every month, first of every month or the 30th, like right before a month starts, I sit down with myself and this planner. You can pick up a piece of paper, you don't need this planner. What I do, refer to your quarter goals and see that month which ones you want to focus on. Go back and check that list and pick the goals that align the most to what's happening in your life that month. We're trickling down year, quarter, month. We're gonna go into week. I promise it's not as complex as it sounds because this is something that you really just need to do 12 times in the year, every time like a month begins. And then what I like to do every week, usually every Monday, but some people I know like to do this on a Sunday, is just write a dump of everything that I need to get done that mainly has to do with like work and responsibilities. But when I'm making that brain dump, I make sure to go back to the monthly goals that I set out at the beginning of the month and see, okay, which one of these goals can I insert in this week? That way, at the end of the month, I make sure that because every week I checked in with the monthly goals, I know I'm on track. I know I achieved that because every week I was checking back the monthly goals and making sure that I was slotting them in into every week. A goal without a plan is a wish. So you really need a plan. Perhaps this system that I set out is too much or is too little, doesn't work exactly for you. Adapt it to yourself or find what works for you, but you need a plan to be able to make sure that you're just not constantly running around trying to make everything happen without an actual step-by-step plan. Alright, you guys, that is it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. I really hope you found it helpful. Any of the tips or even just got some inspiration to do your own reset or to go and check back that page where you wrote down your goals drunk in New Year's Eve. I don't know. I hope this year has been good to you so far, and if it hasn't, I hope that it just looks up from here. Please subscribe if you like this type of content. I do a lot of productivity, self-improvement, but keeping it realistic content in my channel. I have a full playlist for that actually if you want to go watch it. Thank you so much for being here. I'm rooting for us to accomplish our goals. I'm rooting for you. Comment down below, what are we rooting for? What are you working towards this year? What's your main, perhaps, dream goal for this year? Comment it down below. Thank you so much for being here. I love you and I'll catch you in the next one.